of pink and red makes me so happy. I'm so grateful you're here.
My favorite thing about being in LMS is the community. Like, it's a community like none other.
This weekend is the best weekend ever, and it is amazing.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rise. I'm so excited to meet you. Can you see and hear okay? Can everybody see and hear okay? Hi, Christy. Hi, Laurie, Daniela, and Dana, and Amber. Hi. I see Tanya and Avery, Miss Kim. Hi, Miss Amy. Hi, Jennifer. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Dr. Edie. We probably have met already, but I know listen, I don't know if we've ever had this many people join a workshop right at the very end. We have had, I think, 700 people join us since Monday, you guys. This is insane. So we just want to welcome you here. I would love to know if this is your first workshop with us. Just put a 1 in the chat if it's your first workshop. If it's your 7th, you can put a 7 in the chat. We love our workshop goers who've been with us for a long time, but we want to extend a special welcome if this is your first time. This session today will go about an hour, and then each day will be about an hour, except the last day we're going to do a Q&A, so it'll be a little bit longer. We're going to do giveaways. We're so excited when you show up live, so we want to honor that. So we have some special things for you if you're here live, and we want to honor the time that you're here. So we have a few announcements to make at the first, and then we'll get straight into the teaching today. But I just want to extend you a warm welcome and say thank you so much for carving out time to be here. You have made an incredible investment in yourself by signing up for this, by showing up on the first day. You are a boss, and I am so honored to have you here. Again, if this is your first workshop, just put a 1 in the chat. We would love to welcome you. We love our brand new workshop attendees. I'm going to give you a few announcements while everybody's coming on in. First thing is you have a workbook for today. We've linked to it several times, but Katie is going to put it in the chat. This is what it looks like if you upgraded to our All Access Pass and are having it shipped to you. This is what it looks like. But I want to tell you a couple things. Number 1, if your workbook has not come yet, no problem. You just get a piece of paper out and take notes. Maybe you printed the version of this out. That's great too. The thing is, whenever you get this, you're going to love it because it has 30 days of our LMS, my Life Mentoring School. We have a planner. And I don't sell the planner outside of my program because then I would have to explain to everybody how to use it. But we are giving it in this workbook. So you get 30 days of that. So no matter when you get it, that's the perfect time to get it. And so we're really excited for those of you who upgraded. But if you didn't upgrade, no worries at all. You can print this out. If you don't have it printed out, no worries at all. Just grab a piece of paper and a note. You are going to want to take a few notes, I think. But I did want to let you know that the replays will be available at least by 4 o'clock, probably before that. We'll send you an email with your replay for each day. If you joined us with the limited pass, you'll get replays for about a week. If you want replays for ever, basically, if you want to have like unlimited time to watch the replays, you can upgrade to our All Access Pass. But I will say we are almost out of these. You guys, this workshop, we have had more people get this book than any other workshop. Like 1,500 of you got this shipped to you. I could hardly believe it when she told me that we were almost out. So there are a few of these left, but not very many. And after that, that's all we have. So if you do decide to upgrade and we're all out of books, it'll still be totally worth it because you will get unlimited replays of the workshop, which is golden. The other thing that I want to say to you today is that we love when you share our workshop. So take your phone out. You can, maybe you're drinking some kind of special red juice like I am. Maybe you have your workbook out. I just want you to take a picture of like your setup, how you're watching the workshop. These make me laugh and make me so happy because the different things people are doing while they're watching a workshop, or we'll have people who are at the beach who are showing us, the beach and the water, or if you live on the lake like me, maybe you'd be outside and you could see the lake, or if you're sitting like I am in an office, maybe you just show us what you're drinking. Anyways, take a picture, share it on Instagram and tag us at Edie Wadsworth. First of all, we love seeing those. We love seeing what you're doing. We also love sharing those on our socials. So tag us on Instagram, and we are going to pick a winner at the end of today. And this is for people who have shared somewhere socially and tagged us so that we can find it. We are going to be giving away a 1-month membership to Life Mentoring School. So that is the program that I run. We have over 2,000 clients in that program. It's about 6 years old. It's an incredible mentorship. That program has changed my life and so many lives. And as a matter of fact, the video that you just saw before we started was from our live event, Love is Magic. And that's the live event that I host every year for the women in my membership. And I just love them so much. I get to know them. A lot of the people who've been in my membership have been in the whole time. They've come to several live events. I feel like they're part of my family. So I loved seeing all their amazing faces in that video. So share so that we can reshare. And we so appreciate when you do that. And you guys, speaking of sharing, it's not too late. We're not closing enrollment in Rise until tomorrow. So if you still have a friend who would really benefit from this and enjoy this, send them the link. It's ediewadsworthcoaching.com/rise, the same one that you joined, that you signed up with. So if you will send that to them and say, hey, I would love to have you join me here. I will say this about workshops like this. My entire life was changed from a workshop like this. I know how powerful an event like this can be in your life. And, I think of the women that are currently, some of the women actually that help me run my business, found me through a workshop like this, so changed their lives, ended up later on becoming life coaches with us. I do run a life coach certification program working for us. Like, it's incredible how I've just seen so many people really change their life from an event like this. So share it with your people, get them on here. Speaking of coming to an event like this, here's what I want you to decide. Let me tell you, if you can't tell, I am a very high energy person. I have to kind of calm myself down before an event like this. I could barely sleep last night, you guys. I get so excited about the stuff that I'm going to share. And I am bringing my whole heart to this. My team and I have been planning this for a couple of months. We are so excited about this event. We are bringing our whole hearts to this event, and I want you to do that too. I want you to decide, I'm all in. I'm here. I'm going to get something life-changing out of this event. I'm going to participate. By the way, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, I'm going to have Katie put the link here so that you can join us. Join there. There's so many fun giveaways going in there, and I'm going to give you some fun journal prompts / homework to do today. And we'll be doing a giveaway in the Facebook group later with your answers to that. So we would love to have you join us there. So Katie will put the link for that in here, but we want you to show up like you mean it. Now, I'm going to teach you about this in the workshop today. Things have meaning when you show up like you mean it. Things have purpose when you do it on purpose. So I just want you to decide that that's how you are showing up today, and you will get so much out of today when you do that. Now, some of you, listen, you guys, before I became a life coach, I was a family doctor. So I've literally spent 20 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars on my education. And the thing that people ask me most, anybody want to guess? Where'd you get those earrings? Where'd you get that shirt? Where'd you get that dress? And all that tells me is that you are my people. So as a thank you for showing up today live, I have an incredible gift for you, which is our style guide. I will put that in the link to the style guide. We will put it as soon as I finish my teaching today, right before we give away the 1-month membership to Life Mentoring School. But I want to show you a sneak peek at it because it is insane. Let me see. Can I share my screen? Oh, no. Can I share my screen? Share screen. Let's see if it lets me. Oh, it's yeah, it's going to let me. Okay, hold on. Here we go. You guys, look at this. This is our summer style guide. We redo it every season for our workshops. That red swimsuit right there, I have worn every day for the past month. It's so cute, so cheap. Yeah, so this is our summer style guide. We are going to give you the link to that as soon as, oh, wait, did you lose me? Oh, here we go. We're going to give you the link to that as soon as I finish the teaching today. So I'm really excited about that. Did I miss any announcements, Katie? Team, let me know if I missed any announcements. Otherwise, we're going to dive right in. Who is happy to be here today? I want you to tell me in the chat the number one reason you came today. I want you to tell me, why did you decide to pay $7 or $27 if you upgraded, and got our book, to give an hour of your time today and likely an hour of your time tomorrow and Friday? Why did you do it? Why are you here today? I would love to know. And I think I know why you're here today. So we are going to dive right into identity. That's our topic for today. Now, I don't know what you conjure up or what you think of when I say that, but I want to teach you something really powerful about identity. Identity is formed by your thoughts. Is that new for anyone? Identity is formed by your thoughts. So who you think you are, the thoughts that you keep practicing about yourself inform your identity, which informs how you show up to everything, how you show up to your life, how you show up to your marriage, how you show up at the grocery store, how you chitty chat, with the person at the department store where you're buying your dress or whatever. Identity informs everything. It's so important and so powerful. And what I find with women like us, women like you and me, is that we have unintentionally let so many things tell us who we are. We have unintentionally let things that teachers said to us when we were younger, things our parents said over and over about us, things people said to us in school, things society tells us about who we should be. We have let so many things inform our identity, and we've done that unintentionally. And what we don't realize is that those thoughts that we've probably adopted from someone else that we're not choosing consciously are literally running our lives, because identity is who you think you are and how you show up to your life. And we think that's set in stone, but that's not set in stone. We are creating that every day with our thoughts. My question is, are we creating it on purpose? Are we creating it with intention? So I want to ask you a really important question as we start today. What is your main thought right now about yourself? Now, I want you to write this down. If you're taking notes, write it in the chat would be so powerful, because then other people can see. What is your main thought right now that you are having about yourself? And be as honest as you can. I'm going to tell you something, y'all. I wrote a memoir in 2016 called All the Pretty Things, and I told all the things that I was always afraid to say to people about my life. So now that that's all out there, I don't have to hide anything. And when you come into my spaces, you are free to be as honest as you can. And you will get way more out of this if you are as honest as you can. So what is your main thought about yourself? Now, I will say that a lot of people who come into my world have thoughts that are not serving them. We're going to talk about those in a minute. You probably have some thoughts about yourself that aren't serving you. But today we are going to talk about powerful shifts that you can make in who you believe you are. Your identity is not a fixed label. It's a living concept that you are shaping every day with your thoughts. So I want to help you shape it on purpose because it matters. It matters because those thoughts, that identity is fueling your life. So let's create the identity or the self-concept that we want to create on purpose. Let's create the self-concept of a woman who leads herself well in the quiet moments, the messy moments of life, the hard moments of life, the Tuesday afternoon moments when nobody's watching. Let's decide that we are going to create it on purpose and we are going to lead ourselves well in this. That we are going to choose what we want to think about ourselves. Now, if you think about that main thought that you have about yourself, maybe it's something like, my best days are behind me. I don't know what my purpose is anymore. I feel like there must be more to life than this. I remember one day when I woke up and thought, is this all there is? How many of you say yes in the chat if you've thought that before? Is this all there is? And I felt so guilty for thinking that, because if I looked around at my life, I kind of had everything that I thought I wanted, but I wasn't very fulfilled. And I thought it was because of things, the way things were. Now, you're going to learn today that that's not why, but that's what I thought at the time. And that thought did not help me create the life that I wanted. It helped me keep creating the sense that I don't have the life I want. And so some of you are sharing really powerful thoughts, and thank you for your honesty. I'm really undisciplined. I don't know how to live well. I'm really unproductive. I have a lot to give. I just need more time. I spend too much time dreaming and not doing. I'm too old. It's too late. I wish I were smarter. I'm floating along without purpose. Thank you for your honesty. I'm still not sure who I am. I don't have very much energy toward the things that I want to do. Okay, now, whatever you wrote down there, what I want to show you today is that thought is optional. Now, you might think to yourself, no, Dr. Edie, you don't realize this is just true. It's not optional. Well, let me tell you a really powerful story about how I know it's optional. I grew up in East Tennessee with an alcoholic dad, in a drug-addicted family, in poverty, violence, and for years of my life, literally like 44 years of my life, I told that story to myself over and over, that that's who I am. I come from this kind of family. We're poor. We don't have what we need. I've been exposed to too much. If people knew the truth about me. And because my story was true, I thought I had to live by it or carry it around. I didn't know, oh, this is my past. This is how I'm telling the story of my past. But if I decide to, I could tell it a different way. That didn't seem optional to me because I'm like, no, the truth is, here's what happened. But here's what I learned. And I'm going to teach you this tool today. But I learned a powerful tool that helped me rewrite my story. It helped me rewrite the story of my past. I no longer identify as a girl who is rejected, who isn't loved, who isn't cared for, who is poor, who doesn't have what she needs. Because I decided I could tell a different story about my past. Now, when I kept living from that story, I stayed sad and secretly depressed, and my health was starting to suffer. I actually ended up having a whole health crash. And as part of my getting better, I ended up writing my book and telling my story, and I saw it in such a different way. I'm like, oh, my brain always wants to go to all the things that happened wrong for me, but there were so many things that happened right for me. I had the most amazing mother. She was like my first life coach. I had the most amazing coaches. I learned about watercolor and books from an amazing kindergarten teacher. And when I started retelling my story, when I started questioning all the thoughts that I had about my past and retelling this story, what I realized is that everywhere that I felt like was rock bottom, God was sending a rescue. There was somebody there showing me the way. There were angels all around in my life, and I never realized it before. And I was able to rewrite my past. If you look at pictures of me back then, you can almost see the weight that I carried in my face and in my eyes. I look like a totally different person now because of this journey, because of learning good tools, because of getting so much healthier. And whatever story you're telling yourself about your life and about you is optional. And I want you to step into your highest self today. I want you to see that. And maybe a lot of you, I'm sure a lot of you are here and you're like, yeah, I never had that kind of rock bottom moment, but you can feel it. You're still not living into your highest self. There's more for you. I mean, there's more for me. And I feel like I've come such a long ways, but I'm already in a shift. I already feel the waves moving. I'm like, oh, there's another level for me where I can step into another level of joy and peace and purpose and meaning and impact and contribution. The thing that bugs me so much about us in midlife, and I say this as someone who was this, is we think to ourselves, well, I mean, I've kind of done my thing. Maybe my best days are behind me. And let me tell you something. There is not a group of people in all the world with more collective wisdom and more collective passion than women like us. The world needs you. The world needs you to wake up to your amazing life. The world needs you to step into your next level identity, to become more of your true self, to become more of who God made you to be. You can have greater impact in the next 10 years than you had in the first 40 or 30 or 50 combined. I firmly believe that. And let me tell you why. Because 10 years ago, when I started doing this work, I was a mess, you guys. I was depressed. I couldn't sleep well. I was anxious. I had inflammatory arthritis. Just a mess. I was probably 35, 40 pounds heavier than I am now. I didn't have any energy. I was just literally a mess. And I began on a journey to try to help myself. And it started with my past. I started confronting the demons that were haunting me. And as I did the work around my past, I started figuring out, who am I again? Who do I want to become? I learned a lot of coaching tools. Some of them I'm going to teach you this week. And then it spread to money and business. And in the last 10 years, you guys, I have created more amazing things in the last 10 years than I ever thought I could in the first 45. I'm 55 years old. This is my favorite decade yet. I have more energy than I've ever had. I have literally created the most incredible results in my life using the tools that I'm going to teach you. So I know for a fact that you still have so much yet to give, so much wisdom to share, so much impact to make in your life. And I want you to see it too. I want you to learn today the power of identity. The power of really deciding on purpose who you want to be in the world and start creating her thought by thought, day by day. Because the truth is, whether you do it intentionally or not, you're always creating your identity. Every time you think a thought, every time you speak a sentence, every time you make a choice, big or small, you are casting a vote for who you believe you are. You are building an identity, a self-concept. And most of us are building that from old stories, old voices, old wounds, old expectations. So let's go back to your sentence. The sentence that you think so often about yourself. I always drop the ball. I'm bad at finishing things. I'm not very disciplined. I'm not cut out for leadership. I don't know who I am anymore. My best days are behind me. I'll never get healthy again. Those are just rehearsed thoughts. Those are not facts because you can change those. The thoughts you think don't just influence your mood. They do influence your mood because think to yourself, when you practice the thought over and over again, I don't know what my purpose is right now. How do you feel? How do you feel when you say that? Tell me in the chat. If you were to think to yourself over and over again, I don't know what my purpose is anymore. Well, you feel purposeless. Right? And one of the most common things that women come to me saying is, I feel stuck. Guess what you create by saying that over and over and over again? You create stuckness. I decided, we just did a podcast about this. By the way, thank you for all the new listeners to House of Joy, you guys. We love having you at our podcast. We appreciate all these new listeners. We did a podcast not too long ago, and I talked about not saying I'm tired anymore. Because you know what you create when you say I'm tired all the time? How do you feel when you say, I'm tired? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm so tired. You feel tired. Stop saying that. And today we're going to stop saying we're stuck. And we're going to stop saying that we don't have any purpose anymore. And we're going to stop saying that our best days are behind us because those thoughts matter. Those words matter. Those words create feelings inside your body. And those feelings either motivate you to take action or not. So I want you to say them and get them all out. And then I want you to decide, I don't want to define my life like this anymore. I'm tired of saying that. Haven't you said it enough? Haven't you said thoughts like that about yourself enough? They influence your mood. They shape the energy you bring into every room. Let me tell you something really powerful. The words you speak over and over about yourself echo in the minds of your kids. They hear it. They start to speak that way about themselves. Your thoughts and words determine how boldly you say yes to what's calling to you or how you shrink back. And when you live from thoughts that are powerless, you create a powerless identity. You normalize hesitation, overthinking, hiding. You become a mirror of your fear. But when you decide to lead your mind, tell your mind what you want it to think about. You know that scripture that says, whatsoever things are true and good and honest, and think on those things? Truth-centered thoughts, thoughts that create spark in your heart, thoughts that create courage, thoughts that model leadership, thoughts that are loving and powerful, thoughts that create belonging. You become the permission slip for other people. And it starts with a thought that you choose on purpose today. So I want you to really think about it. What are you creating with those thoughts that you're thinking about yourself? And will you decide on purpose to create them? Now, how do you create them, Dr. Edie? Well, I'm going to tell you, because what I like to do is I like to borrow the thoughts that God has about me, that I'm his beloved, that he created me on purpose, with purpose, for purpose, that he created me from love, that he created me to make an impact. I want to adopt those true thoughts. And I want to recognize when my brain wants to default to something powerless, something based in fear. Because the thing of it is, when you decide to live from the identity of a woman who is loved, of a woman who has purpose, of a woman who walks around in the world creating joy and meaning, that will change not only your life, but everybody's life. When you're around that kind of person, you can feel the energy of it. It's magnetic. You're attracted to it. And it's not the person who's the loudest in the room. The most magnetic person in the room is the person who's most certain of who she is, informed by God, by who he says she is. The woman who isn't distracted by self-doubt all the time. The woman who is so comfortable in her own identity that she really sees other people. That so doesn't need the approval of others that she's finally free to give it to others. The woman not trying to impress other people, but can make other people feel seen and valued. Let me tell you something. What the world doesn't need is another one of us trying to fit in. The world needs women who are fully alive in their identity. Now, I have a funny story to tell you about this. When I was practicing medicine, I'll never forget one of the very first big medical meetings that I went to when I was studying for my boards. I walked into the room, and back then, this was probably 25 years ago, something like that. When I walked into the room, I was one of very few women. It was all male physicians, in their suits. And I was one of very few women. And I was definitely the only one wearing a sundress and wedges and a denim jacket, carrying a tote full of highlighters. And for a split second, I thought to myself, you don't belong here. You should tone it down. You should have worn something else. You should try to fit in. And I'm so glad that even back then, I didn't buy into that. I just decided this is who I am. I might be a physician, but I'm not a physician like all of these people are. I wear sundresses and use a lot of highlighters when I'm studying for my boards. And later, when I opened my medical practice, I made the same kind of choice. I didn't want my office to look sterile and cold. I didn't want people to walk in and feel like they were just a number, feel like they were, in some kind of hospital. So I decorated my exam rooms like cozy little living rooms. I added lamps and art and books and softer chairs because I believed then, and I still believe now, that true healing comes from presence, from connection, from beauty. And I learned then a valuable lesson about living in my identity, not being afraid to show up as who I am. Now, some of you saw my home tour. We did a home tour in our Facebook group. We did a Rise and Shine challenge leading up to this. So if you're just joining us, you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely go watch that video because I have a quirky house, you guys. I mean, maybe you can see by the wallpaper and the art on the wall and the yellow chairs and the, purple doors here in my office. I have a quirky house. And people sometimes will say, "Oh, I would love to have you help decorate my house." And I'm like, I don't know how to decorate. I just know what I like. And when my girls were younger, I remember them being a little bit kind of embarrassed about our house. Like, I'm the type of person that when I go into a furniture store, I never buy like a set of furniture. I'll buy one thing here and something at a thrift store here and, something there. And my girls, I think, had the thought like, oh, I wish our house looked more like everybody else's. Well, then when they grew up and started to, have their own college dorm or have their own apartment, they were like, oh, Mom, I really do like our house. It is quirky, but it feels like home. It feels like you. It feels like it's got your personality. And I think we get to the point in our lives where we do kind of just want to fit in. We're done with that phase, you guys. I fully give you permission to stop fitting in. to be your true self, to decorate your house, to wear the clothes that make you feel like you. And if you're not doing that on purpose, start today. That's how you build identity. One thought, one choice, one moment at a time. What if you just decided, I show up to my life with energy, purpose, and joy? Because your energy is always moving toward your most practiced thoughts. So you have to ask yourself, what are those thoughts creating for me? They're either moving you closer to your purpose, your meaning, your highest self, or not. So if you have the one thought about yourself that's been informing your identity by default, not on purpose, I want you to keep that one in your mind. And now I want you to create a new one. What is the thought you want informing your life? I'm the kind of woman who follows through. I respond with powerful presence. I trust myself to figure things out. Everything I do is infused with purpose. I love that thought, you guys. So often, I never get this. So often, women our age are like, I have no purpose. Are you kidding me? Everything you do has purpose. You made dinner last night full of purpose. I made breakfast this morning for my little 12-year-old full of purpose. I'm teaching a class here today. I do it with purpose and meaning. I'm the one who brings that to the thing. I'm not looking to say, does it have purpose to make dinner? No, I bring the purpose to what I'm doing. So you want to feel like you have more purpose, you got to bring purpose to what you're doing. You got to bring meaning to it. You're the one who brings the meaning. You're the one who brings the joy. You're the one who brings the purpose. And then you start to live a life where everything feels purposeful. So you have to ask yourself, how do I feel when I think these thoughts? Your thoughts are shaping your identity. And when you speak powerful, identity-based thoughts, I am loved, I bring energy to everything I do, I'm living in my purpose, I create joy and belonging wherever I go, your life then rises up to meet the thoughts. You will never create a life better than the thoughts you think about it. The thoughts come first, and they inform everything. Your identity, how you show up, what clothes you wear, what you make yourself for breakfast, whether or not you go exercise, how you relate in your marriage. Everything starts with those thoughts. And are you picking them on purpose? Your life will be a reflection of what you have practiced believing and thinking over and over again. It's showing up everywhere. And when you shift that to thoughts that your highest self would think, your life will also reflect that. Decide today to raise your standards for your own life by raising your thoughts. Raise your standards for how you take care of yourself, for how you show up, for the goals that you set. And how do you do that? You start with your thinking. So I teach a powerful tool in Life Mentoring School called the Creation Cycle. It's one of the most powerful tools for transformation I've ever seen. I adapted it from cognitive behavioral therapy, but it basically says your thoughts create feelings, your feelings create action, and those actions that becomes your life. So I have used this cycle with my clients for years as a way to get unstuck, to stop repeating the past, to create a new identity, to create your future on purpose. So if you take the thought that you've been thinking and run it through the creation cycle, you'll see that thinking a thought like, I don't have any purpose anymore, makes you not feel good. It feels a little purposeless, right? It feels a little depressing. It's kind of sad to think that. And what do you do? What actions do you take? What habits do you form when you feel like what you're doing doesn't have purpose? You don't take the powerful actions in your life that you want. But if your thought is, I bring energy and purpose and joy wherever I go, that feels empowering. You show up to your life like you mean it. You lead yourself well. You act with more intention. You build momentum. And suddenly you start seeing evidence of this new identity that you are creating. You don't wait until you believe it fully. You just commit to practicing it. So will you commit to becoming aware of when your brain is offering you these thoughts that aren't serving you and deciding on purpose what you want to practice believing instead? And my clients use this creation cycle every single day, not because they're broken. We're not trying to fix you, but because there is so much in you that hasn't yet been expressed. There's a version of you in there, your true self, your highest self that maybe we've never fully seen. I do believe that there is a version of me that the world has never seen yet. And I am going to keep pursuing that. I am going to keep asking myself to raise my own standards. I'm going to keep asking myself, how could I live more as myself? How could I live from my highest standards, my highest self? How can I show up more present? And this is how you become the highest version of yourself that you are so proud of, that you so admire. And over time, by practicing this, you rewire your brain. Identity is just a rut in your brain that you've believed over and over and over again. And if you want to change that, you have to practice it. And I think this is such a powerful thing to do. See yourself the way God sees you, not through the lens of shame or self-criticism, not through past failures or comparison to other people. But what if you saw yourself through the eyes of love and truth and holy purpose? Picture God's delight in you when He created you. Remember back to how you felt about your own kids when you saw your newborn baby there. There was nothing that could have been more perfect in the world. And that is how God sees you. Not just on your best days, but especially on your hard days. And this informs everything about your life. How you walk into a room, how you respond when life gets hard, how you speak to people in relationship, how you think about the future. This is really important. This is not an identity that you earn. This is an identity that you're given. This is how God sees you. You don't achieve it. You just receive it as a gift. And you begin living from the fullness of this gift. You go from striving to just receiving, from trying to be perfect to presence, from fear to freedom. This is kind of like a divine declaration that God speaks over us. You're wise. You're a delight to me. You're full of light. You're full of love. You're strong. I created you on purpose. You're my beloved. And what if we started living from that? Every thought you think is a vote for the identity you're creating. Every action you take is shaping your life. Will you lead yourself into thinking thoughts that help you create the life you want? Nobody else can do this for you. You have to take radical responsibility for the thoughts that you think, because those thoughts generate emotions. Tomorrow, we're going to talk all about your emotional power. I call it your superpower, but I'm going to teach you so many things about emotions tomorrow. You take responsibility for that. You stop blaming your circumstances. You stop blaming your spouse. You stop blaming your job. You stop blaming your past. That's what I had to stop blaming. And you take responsibility for the thoughts you think that are creating the identity that you're living in, for the energy that you bring into a room, for the way you talk to yourself when no one's listening, for the way you show up to everything. You become a safe space for others when you stop abandoning yourself, when you take responsibility for yourself. And you will begin to create a life of so much purpose and so much meaning and so much spark. I remember I run a Facebook group. Some of you are probably in this Facebook group, but there's like 10,000 people in there. And before I started my life coaching business, I got really into natural health. I'm still really into natural health, always taking supplements and drinking potions. But I built a really large young living business. And so I have this Facebook group where there's like 10,000 people in there. And lately, Facebook has been doing stuff with all their videos. So a bunch of my old videos that I've done in there like 10 or 11 years ago start coming to the surface. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm like, please, we have got to delete these old videos. I look so inflamed, so sad. One of the things that I noticed about my old videos, besides that I was really unhealthy back then, is that I never smiled. I never smiled in my videos. I can tell how sad I was. I didn't have a spark in my eyes. And I look back at those videos and I'm so thankful that I've been on this journey. I'm so thankful for these tools that I've learned. I'm so thankful that I learned how to rewrite my past, that I learned how to reinvent myself, how to become the person I wanted to become. And since then, I can see it. I have my spark back. I feel like I'm so much more me than I've ever been. I'm so much closer to the person that God actually created. And I think in order to do that, we have to be willing to let go of some things. We have to be willing to let go of those old stories. We have to be willing to forgive a bunch of people, including ourselves. We have to be willing to see that we've been living from an old identity and we have to release that so we can rise into the next one. You don't have to carry the weight of your past into this next season. What if you believed that this next season, that this very workshop will lead you into the next season of your life, which will be better than any before that? I firmly believe that. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it unfold. For you and for myself. But in order for that to happen, you have to choose your thoughts on purpose. You have to own your presence. You have to rise with courage, and you have to be willing to lead yourself home to you. And it starts today. We have a foundation. We've laid the foundation. It begins with your thoughts. Tomorrow, we go deeper. We're going to fuel this. We've sort of laid the foundation. We're going to pour the fuel on it tomorrow. We're going to learn tomorrow how to create the emotional energy to sustain the life you were made for, because we're raising that identity. Now you need some energy for it. And we're going to teach you how to do that tomorrow. So do not miss day 2. For our homework today, you guys, what you're going to do, you're going to write down the thought about yourself you came into this workshop with. And then you're going to rewrite it. And you're going to practice that thought so many times today. You're going to write it down on a sticky note. You're going to say it over and over. Maybe you put it on your phone and you just keep saying it over and over and over. But you are going to practice the thought you want to believe about yourself and about your life. And we're going to start practicing today. And then tomorrow, we are going to fuel that with powerful emotions. You are not at the effect of outside circumstances that are creating feelings for you. And we're going to teach you how to fuel that new identity tomorrow. Okay, you guys, we are going to do a fun giveaway. Katie, if you also want to put the style guide back in here, I hope you enjoyed day 1. Tell me your favorite takeaway from day 1 as I do this giveaway. We will put the style guide back in here. I hope you enjoy that. We have so enjoyed creating it for you. And then Katie is going to Katie, just if you will text me the giveaway for the 1 month membership to Life Mentoring School, we'll give that away. And then we will see you tomorrow. Remember, invite a friend. If you enjoyed this today, you guys, invite a friend. You know that there are people in your life who need to hear this. I have people say this all the time, and I believe this. This workshop for many of you will become a before and after. You'll say, that is when things started to change for me. And we want that for our friends. Okay. Winner today of the 1 month membership in Life Mentoring School is, let me get a drum roll. Oh, shoot, Katie. She's already in Life Mentoring School. Can you get me another one? But we will send Patty, Woy, we will send you a gift card. Email us at support@edwadsworthcoaching.com. We don't want you to miss out, but she was already in Life Mentoring School. Can you give me one more, Katie? Oh, thank you guys for sharing what you learned today. I'm so happy you were here. Yeah, your thoughts become your identity. So think them on purpose. Okay, Katie's getting me another one, y'all. Make sure you download the style guide. Yes, Robin, we will send the replays today around 4 p.m. So you will get the replays. Actually, let me tell you this, you guys, because you can even watch them before that. If you go to edwadsworthcoaching.com/rise replays, I think you can watch it like literally 10 minutes after we're done. Okay, Debbie Spence, email us at support@edwadsworthcoaching.com and we will give you a 1 month membership to Life Mentoring School. And I will see you tomorrow. Love you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Can't wait for Thursday. Okay, bye for now.